Hello everyone, welcome to Pipesim Python Toolkit for beginners. In this video I show you how to install Visual Studio Code and configure it to work with Python Toolkit. First of all, you need to go to the site code.visualstudio.com and download Visual Studio version for your PC. I've already downloaded it and I have this file, VSCode user setup. So I run the installation file. I agree with license agreement, and I click Next, Next, and Install to install VS Code with default settings. I don't need to change anything special. Now I need to wait a few seconds while VS Code is installing everything. VS Code was installed successfully, so I need to launch this window. I don't need that file anymore, so I'm going to adjust slightly the screen, and you see the welcome screen of VS Code. I need to go on the left panel and select these extensions. In the list of possible extensions for VS Code, I need to set up the Python. It was already mentioned here in the installation. The first output, Python IntelliSense. So I just click Install. In addition to the Python, I want to install Jupyter Notebook. So I need to type Jupyter and install the first suggestion from this list. So I click Install. And now I need to wait while everything is installing. So Jupyter was installed successfully. And now I can close this window and can go to the next step. So I need to validate my installation. For this purpose, I need to select any example. In the Pipesim folder, Pipesim Developer Tools Python Toolkit Examples, we have the list with many different examples. So let's select one of these files for validation. I'm going to copy this path, then go back to VS Code, open file, insert here the path to my examples, and select File Connections for validation. And I have this information. I need to agree to run it in my VS Code installation. If you have a look at the right bottom corner, you will see that interpreter was not selected. So I click on this button and I select my last installation from drop-down menu. If you have several Python versions in your machine, you may select each of them, or you may change version when you need. So I'm just going to select environment was loaded properly, and now I need to run this script. So I go to this run button, click run, and in the terminal window I can see the process of execution. You may see that this command starts from PS. It means that terminal uses PowerShell for running Python script. In previous version, I've observed several issues running conda from PowerShell. For this purpose, you'd better to change terminal from PowerShell to command prompt, and I'll show you how to do it. You can see that execution was successfully finished. So we've got all results. It means that everything was successfully configured. And now we need to change it to the command prompt. So I go to this plus button, click, select default profile, and I select the command prompt as default terminal. Click command prompt, and now I need to close this PowerShell terminal, kill it, and now I can run everything again. In this time, you can see that the command was changed slightly, so we see the Microsoft terminal with base. There is no PS at the beginning. It means that command prompt is used to run this example. Okay, we successfully tested default installation, and now it's a time to check Jupyter. For this purpose, I'm going to close this example, and then I will create the new file. So click on the file, new file, and from drop-down menu, I select Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter is loading. I don't need this terminal anymore. So we need to wait a little bit while kernels are detected. If it takes time, we can run the command without waiting. It will be detected later. So I'm going to type the base command, which you need to use for all Python scripts. I need to load library. So from 6gil pipesim, I'm going to import model class and click Shift Enter to apply this command. You may see that we have the firewall window. I need to allow access. And I have the information about the installation IPy I need to click install, but I know that it won't be installed properly because I have no admin permission for this window. So I will get the message with recommended keyword which I should use, or recommended command which I should use to run manual installation. So let's wait the response from Visual Studio Code. We received response from Visual Studio Code, and as I told you, it's not possible to install it automatically, so I need to use this command to run installation manually. So I copy this line and then go to the Start menu, scroll down. I need to find Python prompt, right mouse button click, open file location, and click the right mouse button again, and then run with administration permission. Now I have prompt with administrator permission, so I can just insert this command and run manual installation IPy for my Jupyter. Conda returned me the list of packages I need to install, so I agree with everything and run installation. Packages were installed successfully, so I can close this window, and then I can close this one as well. I can scroll up and click Shift Enter again to load class model. Okay, it was successfully loaded, and now I may continue my example loading any Pipesim model. For this purpose, I need to find any Pipesim model, and I'm going to use the case studies for this loading. So let's go to the Pipesim folder, case studies, network model, and then I need to click Shift and right mouse button to copy the path of this model. I'm going to use the first network model. Go back to Visual Code and type model class open, and then use R and path to the model and click Shift Enter. So you may see the response from Python Toolkit server. Model is opening, and it was opened successfully, and I want to check it. I need to return any information. So the simplest way is to type the model about, Shift Enter, and then we have the result. We have the result about the Pipesim API version, PTK version, model file name, and everything. And now, since I've done, I need just to close the session. Type in model, close. That's all. We successfully installed PTK, configured Visual Studio, installed Jupyter Notebook, so we can develop our own code.